So, based on certain dreams I've been having for years now, and my scientific research, and my previous and current intuitive promptings, I am going to describe to you what I'm absolutely certain now, which I wasn't as certain before as I am now. I'm going to share with you what I believe will take place based on certain visions and, as I said, intuition and scientific research, and observing what it is I'm about to explain to you from as many aspects or angles to the point where it's happening now. And I'm believing in it for like way more now. Like, I'm utterly convinced. So I believe, and I've seen a vision / dream where I was being shown that Earth's map, like I was shown a map, and I knew it was of Earth, but it was so unrecognizable. I mean, throughout this map, it was so interesting. Like right now we have our continents, boom, 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 boom. And they're quite far apart and separated and split. This map I saw had, throughout the whole entire map, instead of having these huge spaces like you'd get between, Western Africa and Eastern North America, you get large volume of water and oceanic space, and between Southern Africa and northern South America, huge amount of space. You got to travel quite a distance to get there. And then, Southern Africa towards South Africa towards, Australia, so forth and so on. There's lots of volume in terms of water between these different places. So in the map it is that I was seeing, I saw that there were far many more smaller and a lot smaller than our continent's land masses, and in between these land masses was like water, all like going through it, right? So it seemed like there was a lot of land, and a lot of it. But how do I explain it? Like it was almost like, if I think about it, it's like, okay, so between Western Africa and between East North America, there's a large volume of water. I think it's the Pacific Ocean, if I'm not correct. Is it the Pacific Ocean? Yeah, it is. Or the Atlantic. The Atlantic Ocean, yeah. Sorry. And I may be wrong. Sorry. I'm a bit rusty right now. But basically, there's a large volume of water there, okay? But in what I was seeing was like there was way more land in between what we would see now as like huge distances of oceanic water volumes that we have to travel. And it was a spectacular map because there was so much like land and variance and almost like islands everywhere, but like big islands, which were like small little, it was crazy. It was like, it looked unrecognizable, this map I was looking at. And I was being explained and shown it by, still figuring that out. But it was a completely, entirely different map. And I remember being like shown it and couldn't believe it because I knew I was looking at Earth, and I couldn't believe how absolutely unrecognizable this map was. And not only that, I was looking at it from a high perspective like this, but as though I was actually looking at Earth, but like as a map. Like a topographic view of like a rectangle of Earth's map, like the maps we have today, right? And the maps you find today. So, and now checking all this flooding and this water displacement that's happening, and the change, Earth's changing geomagnetic and electromagnetic activity and properties, and the sun as well in its new oscillations, and in the way in which these high frequencies affect like every single aspect of reality, including physics, including our biosphere, including chemical compositions, and so forth and so on, because all of that is determined and depicted by the electromagnetic activity that is attributed or exposed towards it, right? So if you expose a different type of electromagnetism towards a certain level of chemistry, you can expect different chemical reactionary based outcomes, okay? Because when the frequency of everything changes and the electromagnetic frequency of everything heightens, right? It heightens the fundamental nature of all matter, you know, it changes. So chemical compositions, material compositions, supposed physics-based outcomes, okay? And even consciousness as well, because our brain waves, our body, our electrical nervous system, all works within regards to electromagnetism, okay? So the sun's oscillation is changing now like crazy, right? Because if the sun's energy, remember, we receive sunlight through frequency and rays, right? It's quite amazing. But if the frequency of the sun goes up, right, then the nature of the sun itself changes, and the output of the energy in which it is that the sun is outputting changes as well. And everything is linked within frequency and electromagnetism. When we look at 3D space, we look at like separation between objects, but we don't take into consideration the air and the energy and electromagnetism between everything. It's all one oceanic pool of electromagnetism. So when the sun's energy heightens, the Earth's energy heightens, our energy heightens, all sorts of things start happening. So and the map I was looking at, and I've been trying to explain this map, so I had to do a little bit of digging, right, scientifically, to see whether this was some way of some sort of future pre-recognition dream or prophetic or whatever, who knows. But I got shown a lot of stuff actually that has transpired. So this is why I'm really certain Earth's map's going to change like crazy. And another thing I noticed about this map that I was looking at, there were no deserts. Okay, I believe that one day there will be no deserts here on Earth. I believe the oscillation of the sun will change, which will change the atmospheric, the nature of our atmosphere, the nature of Earth's electromagnetic and geothermic energy. I mean, that, it changes everything. It's all connected, and it's connected through energy, consciousness, electromagnetism, okay? So, and the sun has changed. We used to have a yellow sun. You remember? And now we got like a white sun now. If you ever noticed, the state and color of the sun has changed, and then we even see our weather changing, where it's almost like we're just going through two seasons throughout a year. The seasons are changing up. The birds are migrating. Like the whole electromagnetic nature of Earth is completely changing as it progresses higher on the scale of electromagnetism, consciousness, and frequency and awareness. So I believe that if the sun's electromagnetic nature changes far enough, though obviously that changes the atmospheric conditions on Earth, also changes geothermal activity on Earth, and geomagnetic, which are correlated. But what you'll find is, right, there's correlations between everything, okay? And you can notice that if the sun changed and everything changed, our whole atmospheric conditions here on Earth could completely change. Global warming might not actually be a bad thing, okay? And it's caused by some sort of electromagnetic phenomenon here on Earth more than anything else. Yes, pollution's bad. Yes, everything we're doing with cars and everything is totally fucking bad, and fossil fuels is bad, and we should totally stop it. But scientifically speaking, it doesn't account for the amounts of heat it is that we are starting to begin to experience here on Earth, as well as the changing electromagnetic nature and state of Earth. I mean, planes are having to relook at their GPS navigation systems, and so forth and so on, because a lot of these instrumentations and technologies in which it is being used depend upon being able to read, interpret, and use Earth's electromagnetic frequencies. In fact, when you have to study to be a pilot, one of the biggest things you need to learn about is frequencies, okay? Because you have to learn about how much frequencies in the air affect your flights and your plane, and how all your instrumentation and equipment on the plane works within regards to frequency. being able to do things like calculate altitude as well as GPS and so forth, and whatever other additional navigational tools and technologies may exist. So basically, I think Earth's going to turn into a complete tropical paradise. Obviously, for the map to change that much, there would have to be some crazy changes on Earth. Like, I didn't see like countries or like cities in the way it is you see. It was like, it looked like fucking paradise, seriously. And I think, obviously, in order for Earth's map to change like that, we would have to go through like crazy floods and shit, which we are currently going through now. I made a video about that just recently. So I believe it's going to happen a lot more, to be completely, totally honest with you. A lot more. I think we've, a year ago, 2 years ago, we've only just seen like the start of the propensity of this. And now. So that's my prediction. That's what I'm predicting. Just putting this out there. You can believe it or not, up to you. This is just my take, my view. And this is what I believe. And I just want to be able to say it and document it and record it and put it out there. Just so it's out there, Thanks, guys.